to the Newshour. Now, time for the Newshour debate. Before we go straight into the subject of the debate, let's bring in the news point of the day, which is that immediately on day one of the Obama administration beginning its job, a White House policy document is brought out in which the Obama administration makes it quite clear that it backs what Hillary Clinton said about 7 days back, that Pakistan will get aid, but it will be linked to their action, and especially their action in Afghanistan. Having said that, let's begin the panel tonight. We're asking whether, if Obama does turn the screws on Pakistan, whether Pakistan will be able to wriggle out this time as well. We have first, let me introduce our esteemed guests from Pakistan. We have three members here with us in the studio. Let me introduce Samina Rahman of the Women's Action Forum, Ayar Rahman, very senior journalist, and Mohammad Tahseen, who's executive director of the South Asia Partnership. They are here in India. In fact, you've just come through the Wagah border today and landed here straight, so you must be really tired. But thank you for coming. They are here as part of a 22-member group of influential and well-meaning Pakistani citizens who want to explore other avenues towards peace in this very difficult time. And they're joined on the panel this evening. To their left is K.C. Singh, former Secretary, Ministry of External Affairs, and Maruf Raza, a strategic affairs expert. So we have 5 members in the studio with us this evening. And Mushahid Hussain, former Information Minister of Pakistan, will be joining us in a few minutes. He's also heading, there he is in fact, he heads Pakistan Senate's Foreign Relations Committee. Mushahid, good evening. Thank you for coming in. And thank you so much, all of you, for coming in the studio. May I begin by asking you, not with a view to be cynical, but to be direct, that at a time like this, when core issues have not been addressed, when there is such a divide between the two countries and Pakistan is under such pressure, do efforts like yours really help? The track 2, track 3, or the people-to-people, organization-to-organization exchanges?
We believe that core issues will not be settled unless we approach them in the spirit of good neighborliness. You see, we do not accept the point of view that core issues must be settled first and disputes must be resolved first before we can live like good neighbors, you know. We have to live like good neighbors, and if we decide to live like good neighbors, we will find ways to solving good core issues. And we have come here firm in the belief that the people of India as well as the people of Pakistan want peace. They want peace to establish themselves, to build up their future.
Okay.
Because you have problems, we have problems.
You second that, Samina?
I do, indeed, and I would like to point out the role of women in this entire process. I know since the early 80s, most particularly, the peace process has been promoted by women to a large extent. I think that women in the entire region, and most particularly in India and Pakistan, reached out, and we were part of cultural delegations, we were part of theatrical troupes, we were part of women's rights issues, and we have made very good friends across the years who have stayed with us, and we feel that now, in fact, is the time to show and test the bonds that we have nurtured and nourished for the past decades.
Mohammad Tahseen, I'm going to say, I'm not meaning to be cynical here, but just as a neutral journalist, this is all very well meaning, but it's been happening over the years. And yet the Mumbai attack happened. Yet they were sponsored from people in the Pakistani side, if not the Pakistani state. So obviously, we are not addressing the core issue here. Don't you equally feel frustrated?
You remember Agra?
Yeah.
When Musharraf talked of core issues, all of you were very angry with him. Okay. See, it's a very sad thing that now India is talking of core issues.
If you want to take that, Tahseen?
Well, I think who defines core issues, right? If it is some people who are running the states on both sides, I am afraid we're not doing justice to the real issues. And the real issues of people are different than what being portrayed at the moment. At the same time, I think I don't need to advise you that what is an ethical journalism, but I think we being journalists, we have to be very, very careful.
Okay.
I mean, our words are our weapons, and we can be equally mercenary and terrorist than people who are carrying guns.
Absolutely.
So who decides the issues? What one knows about Pakistan, of course, certainly, and I've traveled quite a lot in India also, a large number of people, they have totally different set of issues. Yes, the core issues between India and Pakistan is, of course, peace. Of course, there are issues of poverty. Of course, there are issues of injustices. I think people of India and Pakistan need to sit
these are seen, I'm afraid, these are seen here, especially in the backdrop of the Mumbai trial, to be generalities which serve absolutely no purpose. And these have been going on for a long time now. Let me go to Mushahid. Let's go straight to the debate right now. Mushahid Hussain, you're hearing all this. There is good intent on all sides. But today, the Obama administration has told your country in no unequivocal terms, you want money, then act as we want you to, especially in Afghanistan.
First of all, I think good evening to all your distinguished guests in the studio, and also good evening to the viewers and listeners in India. Greetings from Pakistan. I think it's a very good initiative from the Pakistani side, and I'm sure there will be reciprocity from the Indian side, because I was just talking to my friend Mahesh Bhatt in Bombay, and he was also very keen that this gains made in the peace process, especially on the cultural front and people-to-people context, must not be reversed just because there are problems at the level of the two governments. And I think that is an important element, and this delegation, I'm sure, will have a positive resonance among the Indian people. Regarding the Obama administration, we have been hearing this thing before also. It takes two to tango. We feel that on the Afghan side, there has been a failure of governance. There's ineffectual government, narco-terrorism, and also terrorism sponsored from the Afghan side, and there's a no man's land all across the Durand line. So we need to do more on all sides, whether it's the Afghan side or the Pakistani side. But blaming Pakistan for the failure of American policy in Afghanistan is wrong. And I'm sure Obama will see the other side of the picture, because his own military commander was in Islamabad yesterday. And I'm told that the first meeting Obama is going to have this morning at the White House is going to be with General David Petraeus. And tonight, I might add for your information, the NATO Secretary General, Jaap de Hoop Scheffer, is also arriving in Islamabad. And you remember his statement last week when he said that the government in Kabul is ineffective and it needs to do more. So our view is that the US also needs to do more on its side and stop blaming Pakistan for its own failings and shortcomings in Afghanistan.